Okay, let's talk about something real. If you're a man over 60, maybe you felt it. That feeling of being, I don't know, drained.
Yeah.
Or that brain fog that just creeps in. Energy's not there like it used to be. And maybe the body's just not responding how you want it to, especially, intimately.
Absolutely. And for so long, the easy answer has just been, oh, well, that's just getting older.
Right. Accept it. But what if that's not the whole story? What if it's simpler?
That's exactly what our source today dives into. We're drawing on insights from a men's health specialist, someone with over 30 years in the field. And the suggestion is pretty startling.
Which is?
That these issues, these very common frustrations, might actually be your body signaling, well, basically crying out for 3 specific essential vitamins. It might be fixable.
3 vitamins. Okay. That's what we're digging into today then. We want to unpack exactly which 3 every man over 60 should really know about. How they could potentially help with things like, natural erections, boosting testosterone, getting that energy back.
And crucially, there's a mistake. A really common one men make when trying to use these.
Okay. So we'll cover that too. And how you listening can avoid it. Maybe starting like tonight.
Exactly. This whole deep dive, think of it as a shortcut. It's about getting you informed on stuff maybe your regular doctor doesn't bring up. Because often the solution might start closer to home, like in your kitchen.
Not necessarily the pharmacy first.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Let's jump in. Vitamin number 1. Where do we start? Energy, circulation, performance. It all seems to dip, right? Even if you want to stay active.
It does, and that often ties back to our first key player, vitamin D. People think bones, right?
Yeah, sunshine, vitamin, strong bones.
Right. But for men's health, especially over 60, it's like a spark plug for your circulation. It plays a direct role in producing nitric oxide.
Nitric oxide, I've heard of that. That's important for blood flow.
Hugely important. It basically tells your blood vessels, hey, relax, open up. This lets oxygen-rich blood get everywhere it needs to go. And yes, that includes, areas vital for intimacy.
So low D means less nitric oxide.
Bingo. Less nitric oxide, sluggish circulation, lower energy. And yeah, that spark can definitely dim.
So it really impacts more than just one area then. It sounds like it connects to overall stamina, feeling clear-headed.
Oh, absolutely. Confidence, even. And here's the kicker, the statistic our source highlights. Over 40% of older adults are actually deficient in vitamin D.
40%. Wow. Even people who think they're doing okay, eating well, maybe exercising.
Replicating them. It's surprisingly common. It's not just some abstract number. It's affecting a lot of men walking around feeling less than their best and maybe not knowing why.
The specialist in our source mentioned a specific example, Paul, a 67-year-old.
Yeah, Paul. A really sharp, thoughtful man, but deeply frustrated. He wanted that closeness with his wife, but physically, things just weren't working. It's a story I hear variations of constantly.
And for him?
For Paul, like for so many others, addressing that vitamin D level, getting it right, that was the foundational first step. It was about getting that spark back, as he put it.
That's really powerful. Just knowing that something so basic could be the key. So, okay, someone's listening thinking, maybe that's me. What are the practical steps? How do you fix it?
Well, the good news is it's often quite straightforward. Getting about 15, maybe 20 minutes of morning sunlight on your skin can help your body make its own.
Okay.
Eating more vitamin D-rich foods helps too. Think salmon, tuna, fortified dairy. But often, especially for consistent levels, supplementing with a high-quality vitamin D3 is really effective.
D3 specifically?
Yes, D3. It's not just theory, it's basic body chemistry. It's a concrete way to start rebuilding.
Okay, so vitamin D helps get the blood flowing.
Yeah.
But you still need fuel, right? You need energy to actually do things.
Yeah.
What unlocks that?
Now you're talking about vitamin B12. Our source calls it the energy generator. And that's pretty accurate. B12 is absolutely essential for converting the food you eat into usable energy.
So without enough B12, you could eat well, sleep okay, but still feel drained.
Exactly. Like you're just running on empty. Your body literally can't make the fuel efficiently. It's like trying to run a car with a clogged fuel line.
And it's not just physical tiredness, is it? I imagine it affects focus too.
Big time. B12 is also crucial for making red blood cells. Those are the little trucks that carry oxygen everywhere. Your muscles, your brain, sexual organs.
So if you don't have enough red blood cells,
everything slows down, stamina drops, focus gets fuzzy, you might feel kind of disconnected, even from things you used to enjoy. And here's a really key point for men over 60. Our ability to absorb B12 from food naturally declines with age.
Oh, right. So even if you're eating steak or eggs, you might not be getting enough into your system.
Precisely. That absorption issue is why supplementation often becomes necessary, even for guys with pretty decent diets.
This sounds like that story about Robert, the retired firefighter, 72 years old.
Yes, Robert. A proud grandfather, but he described himself as just dragging through the day, foggy-headed, tired all the time, lost that intimate spark. It's a classic picture, honestly.
And often missed, you think?
Often overlooked, yes. For Robert, getting his B12 levels corrected was like flipping a switch. His mental clarity came back, his physical stamina improved dramatically. He said he felt awake again, went from nodding off in his chair to actually going hiking. It was a real turnaround.
That's fantastic. So if someone recognizes those symptoms, the dragging, the fog, what's the step for B12?
Well, the most direct route is usually through quality supplementation. Making sure you're taking the right form is key here too, something we'll touch on later. In some cases, if absorption is a major issue, a doctor might suggest injections, but often good oral supplements do the trick. Simple, but potentially life-changing.
Okay, so D for circulation, B12 for energy fuel. What's the third leg of the stool?
Yeah.
We need protection too, right? Healthy blood vessels, managing inflammation, supporting hormones like testosterone.
Exactly. And that brings us to vitamin E. Now, it sometimes gets pigeonholed as the fertility vitamin, but for men over 60, its power lies elsewhere. It's a potent natural antioxidant.
Antioxidant, so it fights damage.
Precisely. It combats oxidative stress and inflammation. Think of those as silent saboteurs that, over time, damage your blood vessels, mess with your hormones, and affect reproductive health as you age.
We hear inflammation a lot. How does it specifically impact male vitality after 60? Is it really a major player?
Oh, it's huge. Chronic inflammation is like internal rust. It makes blood vessels less flexible, which hinders blood flow. It can directly lower testosterone levels, and it just drains your energy reserves. It's this slow creep that makes men feel like they're losing their edge.
So vitamin E helps fight that inflammation.
Yeah.
And keeps vessels healthy.
Yes, it helps keep those blood vessels flexible and resilient, which is crucial for strong circulation, and as we know, good circulation is fundamental for erections. But vitamin E also plays a role in supporting efficient testosterone production.
And testosterone after 60 is about more than just sex drive, right?
Absolutely. It's tied to mood, motivation, muscle maintenance, that overall sense of vitality and purpose. So supporting it is key.
The source mentioned James, a 70-year-old retired pilot. How did vitamin E fit into his picture?
James was doing all the right things, eating well, exercising, but he just felt off. Drives were low, recovery after activity took longer. He just didn't feel like himself. Adding vitamin E was a missing piece for him. He reported feeling sharper, stronger, more connected again.
Interesting. So it's not always the obvious things. How can people get more vitamin E naturally or supplement?
Easy natural sources are things like almonds, sunflower seeds, using good olive oil, eating leafy greens like spinach or Swiss chard. If diet isn't quite cutting it, a high-quality natural vitamin E supplement is a good option. Again, quality matters.
Okay, we've got D, B12, E, powerful individually. But you mentioned synergy earlier. What happens when you put them all together? Is it like 1 + 1 + 1 = 5?
Something like that. It's definitely more than the sum of its parts. When you combine them correctly, consistently, that's when you can see this real ripple effect. Our expert calls it the vitality triangle. They really do support and amplify each other's actions.
Okay, break down that synergy force. How do they work together?
Right. So think about it. Vitamin D gets the nitric oxide flowing, improving the potential for good circulation. It kind of primes the system.
Opens the pipes, so to speak.
Exactly. Then vitamin B12 steps in, boosting the red blood cells, the oxygen carriers that travel through those now more open pipes, so you're delivering more fuel more efficiently.
Got it. More oxygen delivery.
And then vitamin E comes in to protect those pipes, keeping the blood vessels healthy and flexible, while also supporting the testosterone that helps fuel the whole system, energy, drive, the works. They build on each other.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like a complete system tune-up.
It really is. And this becomes even more important as we age because, let's face it, the body's natural repair and absorption processes slow down. Inflammation tends to creep up. Recovery takes longer. If one piece of this triangle is missing or low, it can hinder the whole process. Bringing them together in balance helps the body kind of remember how it's supposed to function.
That idea of the body remembering,
Yeah.
that resonates.
It's about feeling more rested, thinking clearer, responding better. That confidence comes back. And like the expert says, you can't get that from a prescription pad.
That story about Walter, the 68-year-old coach, seems to illustrate this perfectly.
Oh, absolutely. Walter's story is fantastic. He tried D, then added B12, then E, kind of piecemeal. But he said it wasn't until he got all three going together, consistently and in the right amounts, that he really felt the change. He literally came in saying, Doc, I feel like I've got a new engine.
A new engine. I love that. Okay, so this all sounds incredibly promising. The science makes sense. The anecdotes are compelling. Why aren't more men experiencing this kind of turnaround? You mentioned a big mistake.
Yes, and this is so, so important. It's probably the number one reason guys try supplements and then say, they didn't work for me. The biggest mistake is assuming any supplement will do, especially grabbing the cheapest bottle off the shelf at a discount store or ordering whatever pops up first online.
Thinking all vitamin D is the same vitamin D or all B12 is the same B12.
Exactly, but they're not. The form of the vitamin, the overall quality of the supplement, and the dosage. These factors determine everything. They dictate whether your body can actually absorb and use the vitamin effectively. Otherwise, you might as well just be, creating expensive urine.
Okay, can you give us concrete examples? How does the form make such a difference?
Let's take B12 again. Most cheap supplements use cyanocobalamin. Your body, especially an older body, has to work hard to convert that into the active form it needs, which is methylcobalamin.
Methylcobalamin, okay.
Right. So if you're taking cyanocobalamin, you might be getting very little actual benefit. It's like putting crude oil in your car instead of gasoline. For vitamin D, D3 is significantly more effective than D2, which is often used in cheaper fortified foods or supplements.
And vitamin E.
Synthetic vitamin E often lacks the full range of compounds found in natural vitamin E, the ones needed for optimal testosterone support and circulation benefits. You need the whole complex, not just one isolated part. It really is about having the right key for the lock.
Quality and form. Got it.
What's the other part of this big mistake?
Inconsistency. Simple as that. Taking vitamins sporadically, like, once or twice a week when you happen to remember, that's not going to build the foundation needed for real lasting change.
It needs to be regular.
Your body needs that steady daily input to repair tissues, rebuild energy pathways, rebalance hormones. Think of it like exercise. You don't get fit going to the gym once a month. It's about creating a consistent rhythm.
This reminds me of Gerald, the 74-year-old you mentioned, with his bag full of supplements.
Yes, Gerald. He was so earnest, trying really hard, taking handfuls of stuff, but he wasn't seeing results, and he was understandably frustrated.
So what changed for him?
We simplified things, switched him to high-quality, bioavailable forms of just these key vitamins D3, methyl B12, natural E, and emphasized taking them every single day. The difference was night and day. Better sleep, more energy, feeling like himself again. It wasn't about taking more. It was about taking the right things consistently. Doing it right, not just harder. Okay, so we know the D, B12, E. We know the Y synergy, specific benefits. And we know the pitfalls, poor quality, inconsistency. How do we make this practical? What's a simple daily routine someone could actually stick with?
Right, because it has to be doable, not another chore. Our expert shares a really great example through Frank, a 66-year-old former carpenter. Frank was feeling that familiar drag, low energy, sleep wasn't great, confidence was dipping. His routine was incredibly simple.
Okay, walk us through Frank's day. How did he fit it in?
Super easy. Morning, first thing, big glass of water, took his B12 supplement, ideally with a breakfast that had some protein to help absorption.
Okay, B12 with breakfast.
Then after breakfast, just a short walk outside, 15 minutes, get some sun for that natural vitamin D boost. If it was winter or a really cloudy day, he'd take a good D3 supplement with his meal instead.
Simple enough. Sunlight or a D3 pill.
And then at lunch, he'd grab a small handful of almonds or maybe sunflower seeds for some natural vitamin E, or just make sure his salad had a good drizzle of olive oil. That was basically it.
That really is simple. No complicated schedules or dozens of pills.
Simple, consistent, effective.
And what happened for Frank? What were the results of just doing that?
The results were profound for him. Within weeks, he told us he had way more energy. He was actually playing with his grandkids, not just watching them. He noticed a definite return of interest and intimacy with his wife, and he just felt solid, more confident, like a stronger, more grounded version of himself.
Wow, not necessarily younger, but
Steadier.
Stronger.
Exactly. It proves you don't need some magic bullet. You need that steady rhythm. You need the right nutrients and the right forms your body can actually use. And maybe most importantly, you need that mindset shift, believing that you are still in the driver's seat of your health, because you are.
That's a great point. It's empowering. As we sort of wrap up here, I just want to circle back to something for everyone listening. That question that might linger, is it too late? Is it too late for me to feel strong again, to feel desire, to feel really alive?
Yeah. And if you're asking that question, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're still fighting, still looking for that strength, that energy, that connection. We've talked specifics today: vitamin D for circulation, B12 for energy, E for protection and hormone support, the vitality triangle.
Just knowing isn't enough, right?
Not at all. The real power comes when you weave this into your daily life.
Yeah.
Remember, these aren't just about physical mechanics. They support who you are, your confidence, your presence in your relationships, your ability to wake up feeling like, well, like you.
So, the final word.
It's not too late. Honestly, it's not even close. You have time to feel stronger. You have time to reconnect. You have time to be the man you know you still are, fully and without apology.
You took the first step just by tuning into this deep dive, by really listening. The next step, that's acting on it. Make that walk tomorrow morning. Get the right supplement with intention. Choose to say yes to your health, to your future. It's in your hands.